Movies tend to have ambitious ideas, but they usually fall short because of wonky execution. That's why I believe there is an unlimited amount of missed opportunities in movies and TV series. And it's not only limited to bad movies. Because even good movies can have elements in them that are legitimately bad, and leave them with a lot of missed potential. K-pop Demon Hunters fits exactly in this territory, while being a good movie, but also having big flaws, and thus missed opportunities. While there are many potential directions to explore here, I would like to focus on the biggest hurdle of the movie. The death of the Saja boys is the biggest issue in K-pop Demon Hunters, because it breaks the internal logic of the movie, and its aftermath is not justified or explored in the slightest. This breaks immersion and undermines the overall tension of the events of the story. But it's also a missed opportunity to strengthen the world building. The most viable justification would have been that the Huntrix girls' songs have memory erasing powers, and so they could erase the memories that people have about the fact that Zoe and Mira executed Mystery and Abby. But that does not hold up entirely, because the Saja Boys is literally a fan club of over 50 million fans, and there are countless amounts of merch associated with the Saja Boys. The Huntrix girls would need to damage the Saja Boys brand by staging controversies around them, or otherwise making them appear like bad people. Because the growth of the Saja Boys took fans away from Huntrix, and thus weakened the honeymoon. And even if the Saja Boys stopped after the Namsan Tower events, like they just disappeared or died, their fan club would still continue. The death of the Saja Boys would become a global tragedy if it became public knowledge that they died. And while Huntrix ought to gain the support of the fans back with their comeback, the Saja Boys' legacy would still be a thorn in their side, in their mission to make the honeymoon golden. That could have been an alternative justification that wouldn't have broken the continuity of the movie, or at least that's what I thought at first. Because after further review, I realized that this actually does not hold up. That's because the demons have transformation powers. This means that even though Genu, Abby, and Mystery are dead, other demons can just replace them. Unless demons having transformation powers is rare, which is not supported by the movie. If anything, the movie actually supports the idea that almost any demon has transformation powers, because even at the very beginning of the movie, the demons appear as flight attendants. But another way to justify this would have been to have the honeymoon golden, because if all the demons are sealed away, the demons can't impersonate the Saja Boys and roam the human world. But since we have a sequel already in production and potentially a lot more K-pop Demon Hunters content, I really doubt that the honeymoon actually seals the demons away entirely. Because then the writers would limit themselves to not having the Huntrix girls act as demon hunters anymore, because there are no more demons in the world. Now that kind of movie could still be good, potentially taking the angle of an identity crisis for the Huntrix girls, because they were K-pop demon hunters their entire life. But what will they do now that they don't have to fight demons anymore, and they won't be K-pop idols forever? But I really doubt that the sequel would go in this direction. And if at any point demons can get to the overworld, they should just impersonate the Saja Boys again, or alternatively create a new K-pop group, because that was by far the most efficient strategy the demons have ever had. This means that there's actually only one thing that could fix the death of the Saja Boys. Harry Potter level Obliviate magic. All memories of the Saja Boys are deleted thanks to the Huntrix girls' songs, and their merch is tossed away just like their memory in this world. But I would still say that it's not too great of a justification, because having this kind of Obliviate level powers that could obliviate the entire world with just the power of the song is pretty insane. Because it's not only obliviating the memories of demon encounters about killing the Saja Boys, but it's basically erasing the Saja Boys entirely from history. The Soda Pop performance never happened. There was no Play Games With Us show, because it was entirely erased from memory. And also, if the hunters have these kind of powers, couldn't Rumi have just erased Genu's memories by singing Free? Or I guess it could be counter-justified that the demons are immune to the song's ability to erase memories. Either way, it doesn't hold up entirely. I would say that these justifications would have been better than just ignoring it like it happened in the movie. But honestly, there is no way to justify the death of the Saja Boys. that doesn't undermine the continuity of the film. The movie wants to have the big payoff of Genu's sacrifice and defeating the Saja boys, without paying the world-building cost of those payoffs. This could potentially be countered by the fact that if in the sequel the Korean government starts researching demons and works together with the hunters to defeat Kuima. But this isn't supported by the end of the movie, and honestly, I think we can again agree that the sequel won't be going in that direction. The specific plot decision to have Genu, Abby, and Mystery die requires stronger world building, which the film doesn't deliver. But even if it did, that world building would not make fully sense and would contradict the continuity of the movie. The biggest missed opportunity in K-pop Demon Hunters isn't actually the lack of world building, but it's actually that the writers wrote themselves into a corner that they can't write themselves out of, because they wanted those certain payoffs. Sacrificing consistency and internal logic for a payoff is a questionable choice, but an understandable one. Especially the payoff of Genu sacrificing himself to save Rumi is a big payoff, and it's well developed. That's actually one of the main reasons K-pop Demon Hunters is still a good movie and tends to still get positive marks, despite its issues. Even though the world building doesn't hold up, the payoffs are well developed and established. However, the lack of internal consistency undermines tension, and especially the way the Namsan Tower debacle unfolds does really undermine tension, because everything just kind of resolves automatically. But in terms of missed opportunities, the core thing actually becomes, would it be possible to have the payoff of Genu's sacrifice and killing Abby and Mystery while keeping the movie's continuity intact? I previously mostly focused on solutions that could have been established in the sequel, but unfortunately, like I concluded, the sequel can't fix this. So the only thing that could fix this is that if the movie would have been written differently. First, they would have had to establish that only more powerful demons have the ability to transform. That way the demons who represent the Saja Boys group are the strongest in Kima's army, and are one of the rare few that can transform. Baby Saja and Romance could become the demons that transform into Mira and Zoe at the Idol Awards show. And instead of the plain fight scene, the movie could have an alternative beginning as to introducing the Huntrix girls. So there are no transforming demons. Then in addition to killing Mystery and Abby, Zoe and Mira managed to kill Romance and Baby Saja as well. So there are no more demons who can transform into the Saja Boys. Of course, Kima's army would still have demons that could transform, but since the Saja Boys is a group of 5, Kima would not have another 5 demons that have transforming powers because they are so rare, and transformation as an ability is a pretty incredible power in the first place. Then the hunters could make fake leaked messages, making the Saja Boys look arrogant or disrespectful towards fans, or stage whatever controversy they want around the Saja Boys. And as the Saja Boys disappeared, the public would lose interest and assume that they went underground because of those controversies. Now this is of course a lot to alter, and this would become an entirely different movie. And it would have had a different tone, and many of the elements would have to be executed in an entirely different way, and it still would not be perfect. This is just one of many potential other ways of establishing the world in a way that doesn't break the continuity. What I wanted to explore here was that it's a missed opportunity in the movie to take a certain direction in writing that undermines the world building in order to have the payoff at its expense. And the missed opportunity where alternative execution and writing could have made the internal continuity of the movie stronger. Because while the character work for all the main characters is mostly good, the world building is the weakest link in K-pop Demon Hunters. I personally really focus a lot on world building, because weak world building undermines the believability and immersion within the movie. But again, K-pop Demon Hunters kind of survives this, because it's only the ending that breaks the movie. And while the sequel can't fully fix the errors of this movie, it could still strengthen the world building and perhaps come up with alternative solutions that would strengthen the continuity and make sure that the tension and immersion are not lost from K-pop Demon Hunters.